Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and in the newest WoW mode remix of Mists of Pandaria, players get an opportunity to re-experience the glory of one of the most memorable expansions, level a brand new character in preparation for War Within, and unlock a bunch of cosmetics along the way with the currency of bronze. But another thing the players can participate in is being able to build a powerful character and literally reach infinite potential with a Cloak of Infinite Potential, an item that continues to gain power as you experience more of Pandaria's content. From raids, dungeons, PvP, questing, leveling, just about everything allows you to earn threads in order to keep building up your Cloak. And while gearing a character through bonds upgrades can be a little bit slow and grindy, the Cloak farming, however, is a lot more efficient, as the Cloak offers the most amount of power gains that a character can do, and you can basically grind this Cloak endlessly. But with all the most popular Cloak farming methods taking a tumble with nerfs after nerfs over the last few weeks, I wanted to go over a more specified video and cover all of the different ways that you can now upgrade your Cloak with the Mists of Pandaria remix. Everything from the recent addition of spools of threads for your cloaks, highlight all of the dailies that you start doing immediately to upgrade efficiently, and go over how you can still farm out threads through a few farming methods that have so far been left untouched. And as always, if you guys enjoy more videos like these for WoW Remix Mists of Pandaria, follow the channel. But otherwise, let's dive into this Cloak farming guide. In a recent update for WoW Remix, they added spools of eternal threads, items which can grant you a bunch of threads for your Cloak instantly, with most of these items now awarded for most open world and group activities. And these items come in multiple rarities, from green minor spools of threads which award you 40 threads for your Cloak, lesser spools of eternal thread which award 50 threads, purple spools of thread which can be awarded from things such as LFR raids and dungeons, but also greater spools of eternal threads which are awarded from very key specific activities, with all these rarities scaling with additional threads. And one of the best ways to collect a lot of these greater spools of eternal threads is by simply doing dailies. And there's a lot of daily activities that now award you the epic spools of thread. First one being world bosses. Every single one of the world bosses from Undasta, Shah of Anger, Nalak, Galleon, the Thomas Isle Celestials, and even Ordos all award you greater spools of eternal thread. All of these bosses are also on a daily lockout, so every day you'll have roughly up to 6 world bosses that can award you with greater spools of thread. All of the boss locations are going to be different, however, with Undasta residing up north in the Isle of Giants. The fan favorite Shah of Anger is going to be residing in Konlai Summit. You'll find Galleon a little further south in the Valley of the Four Winds. Nalak can be found all the way in the Thunder Isle next to the Throne of Thunder raid entrance. And all the way in the Thomas Isle you have the Celestials with Yulon, Zuen, Chiji, as well as Nuazawa, as well as Ordos, the fire god of the Young Gaul. However, to access Ordos, you will need to have completed a questline in order to unlock that entire area. However, you can skip having to do that questline if you have on your person a handful of meteor chips, which can be acquired by slaying certain mobs within open world and dungeon content. I acquired a lot of these just simply while leveling my shaman all the way to level 70, and I kept these chips in my bags because they just don't take up a lot of backspace, but I found that you could actually use them in order to launch yourself up to where Ordos resides in order to start getting your tags on the boss on a daily. These ships will launch you a great distance. You'll want to be very careful where you're positioned when you launch yourself, because you can easily overshoot the Ordos landing spot. But if you have a couple of these meteor chips, you can simply skip out that entire questline altogether. One of the easy ways to acquire these chips is by doing specific scenario. If you want to farm out secrets of the Ragefire or normal or heroic, a lot of the mobs in Ragefire in particular have a higher chance than usual to drop these chips. Otherwise, you can farm any simple Young Gaul in any of the zones of Mists of Pandaria, but one of the better spots to farm them, if you see them, is in the Kunlai Summit. Besides world bosses, there's also dailies that award you greater spools of thread, with the Infinite Bazaar daily quests such as A Fresh Scene, Looking for More, and Looking for Group. These require you to complete and participate in scenarios, dungeons, and slay a couple of bosses within a raid. But also, completing the scenarios on normal and even heroic as a random activity will award you with purple spools of thread, which provides you with 100 thread, whereas greater spools of thread, the orange kind, will provide you with 180 thread. So queuing for these as a normal and a heroic for the day is not a bad idea. The same goes for normal dungeons as well as heroic dungeons. Then you have Raid Finder with every single LFR raid awarding you with purple spools of thread, and there's a lot of raids for you to get through, though if you are going to be doing these spools of thread through raiding, I would advise, like, if you have a limited time spent to play WoW Remix, I'd probably do them on normal if you have the gear to do so. But doing them on normal, you do get a little bit more thread, at least from my experience, because the fights are a little bit of higher difficulty. And even if you can do them on heroic, then you can potentially gain even greater rewards just for doing them on heroic, especially when it comes to gear rewards, in fact. But even if LFR is the bare minimum that you can do, I think getting a ton of spools of threads is definitely worth the time, and there's a lot of LFR raids for you to get through in a single day. Besides this, another way to be able to earn some of the greater spools of threads is by doing one-time achievements. Usually some of the bigger achievements is how you'll be able to earn the purple greater spools. Some of the bigger ones are going to be behind main campaign quests, completing the entire campaign of any one zone of Mists of Pandaria, whether it is the patch campaign quests such as Escalation or Isle of Thunder, or any of the original zone quest signs. All of those will also award you with greater spools of eternal thread. But focusing on these achievements is also another way for you to be able to get bronze caches in order to be able to upgrade your gear or buy more cosmetics over in the Bazaar. So there's plenty of reason to do them just for the sake of efficiency, or if you're simply just trying to farm out as much thread as possible. Another sort of quest that are generally also worth your time, I would say, is exploration ones. Again, you'll be able to collect a lot of caches while you're doing it, but also you'll be able to collect spools of thread as well. You won't be getting the orange greater spools, but the purple spools still are going to be decent and worth your time. Then you also have reputation quests, which I think are still worth it. You will be able to gain spools of eternal thread as you gain exalted with various factions. You'll get bronze caches for it also, as well as you'll be able to collect the currency of lesser charms of good fortune, which are much harder to farm, but the reputation quest lines and reputation dailies do award you a decent amount of lesser charms. So if you're still behind on gemming out your character, that's a pretty good source to be able to get a bunch of gems to boost up your gear. Now, besides all this, there is still an opportunity for farming, just raw farming of threads if you're just trying to find ways to boost up your cloak and you've done all of your dailies for the day. Some of the bigger farms, such as the frogs and the goats and a few others, have actually started to get nerfed, the biggest one being the frogs, but even the goats and some of the other smaller farms that have spawned since then, like the Dalaran farm, all of those have started to get nerfed one by one. But also while farming, if you do end up joining any group stuff, watch out for exploits. And there are reports that they are already taking actions against a lot of players with a bunch of suspensions. So if you see an exploit, it probably is a good idea to play it safe and just back out of it whenever you can. Just some friendly advice from your pal Dal. But if you do want some solo farming for threads, there are still a handful of ways that you can do so in order to effectively get quite a bit of threads for the time spent. But also this includes bronze, as well as some of the items that can be converted into bronze with a scrapper, as well as a potential opportunity for even more gems. The Golai Halls and the Ruins of Golai is a decent spot. I've been doing it for a little bit whenever I have some free time. And as long as there's not too many players there, you can do big pulls with Mogu, blast them out very quickly, go down into the halls, blast them out again. And that's quite a bit of threads that you can collect over time once you've done all of your dailies. Another spot that I've seen work pretty well, and I've tried this a couple of times, is going to be the Lion's Landing or the Domination Point. Depending on if you align to the Horde, for the Horde you would go to a Lion's Landing, and right at the beachhead there's a lot of enemies that are kind of clustered together. Pull them together, AoE them down, and you can get quite a bit of threads. And even Alliance players have been able to find spots around Domination Point where there's enough enemies clustered together where you can pull them at once, nuke them down, and get a ton of threads as well. And with that being said, that's going to be essentially my video on how to start farming up the threads in order to boost up your cloak, in order to be able to gain some of the highest highs and some of the biggest gains if you're really trying to min-max your character in the WoW Remix of Pandaria mode. As always, I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video. I hope all of you enjoyed. Best of luck to everybody farming up the cloaks for every one of your characters. And let me know what your cloak is currently looking like on your character. Just how many stats are you working with right now? Have you hit that critical mass where you're just absolutely obliterating everything in front of you? Or are you still just trying to grow stronger and stronger? Also, let me know in the comments if you are going to be grinding out of your cloak, or are you going to be playing WoW Remix a little bit more casually? Like, are you trying to get a bunch of cosmetics out of this mode, or are you mostly trying to focus on doing some of the endgame stuff and really trying to break your character completely? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.